G'day guys, Josh here. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Well, I'm going to say a few things. Brelshaza released. Obviously got the release date right for that one. For some reason I thought last week Brelshaza released. So we've got more stuff to look at, and also, for example, we've got more stuff to look at on our screen here. You can even see, you can't even see the abyss rate anymore. This screen's going to have a scroll option soon where you'll be scrolling through every single abyss rate. It's just going to be I don't know, maybe they should add a search function, okay? But fortunately we've got the rearrange tool, okay, so you can rearrange it. And you guys just watching me being mate, top right corner, come on, man. But anyways, so I got new materials, new things to look at, and hope you guys have been having a great day. Tier 4 materials as well, so new materials. So those prices have been, I gotta say right now, those prices are a bit stagnant, I'm gonna say, considering the fact that I expected to just be booming out the gates and be for a ridiculous price, to be honest. But we'll see in. Let's just go, let's just dive into it. Now, first of all, let's just go to our lovely bussarinos to see how the buses are doing these days. And I gotta say here, I gotta expect no carries. Well, actually, 100. Oh, this is Gold Farmer, 100%. 100G. Very interesting one. I don't understand this one, okay? And I guess I gotta say I don't know how that really works, and I don't know how they do hard mode considering it's 1370. But anyway, that's besides the point, because all 1365, if you notice that, and they're trying to do hard mode. Oh, now they're 1370. I guess these guys are a bit of a glitcher, maybe. But either way, you can see here, there's not many people doing this other than from the random loot drop. Let's get to Abyss Raids. Let's get to our good friend Argos. Argos, I can say it's gone up slightly, but it's not been back to the hate. Oh no, it's still at the point. It's also not much buses being run anymore because not many people need to run Argos due to express events. But overall, I said overweight. Overweight, I gotta say it's still at the semi point. It's still at the 1415, which I gotta say is pretty decent. Basically I think in the heyday when I was in Amsterdam in July, Argos was still being run for I think 1,300 or 1,200. This is when everyone was running a goddamn bus, to be honest. So it's slightly higher at this point. Now looking at Voltan. Voltan, no carries, funnily enough, okay? No carries at the moment. 4-man looking for drivers, they don't quit the price. There are a few carries, but I guess, they don't set the gold price anymore. Now look at Vikers. Vikers still 4k. An interesting name, by the way. 5k bus as well for a hard mode. To be fair with Vikers, as everyone knows, you have to... The bus has to be run by at least 4 people due to the mechanics. So, understandably there are 4 people running the buses. Now go to Kakosidon. As I said, there probably never will be a bus for this difficulty. And we'll go check Brelshaza. And Brelshaza, wouldn't be surprised if there's any... No, there's no carries yet. A lot of re-clears. To be fair though, with these re-clears and stuff like that as well, you're probably not gonna have... I know Drummer Boy, actually. I know him. He's actually pretty decent. Very good gun lancer. Overall, you're not going to have any carries yet. It's probably going to take till later the tier till everyone has carries basically as well. That's pretty much the bread and butter of it all. So I'm going to say right now for Legion raids, don't expect a carry for Kakosidon, but definitely expect the future carries for Brelshaza, and also Voltan to get maybe less carries given the fact that people now moving on to Brelshaza. Not many people are doing Vikers Voltan anymore unless it's on ults, and everyone will be going from gate 1 to 6 on Brelshaza. Now with Deja Vu and Rehearsal, probably don't expect much on there, for these groups, because these boss fights are actually relatively easy. But overall, with the buses, I'm going to say, Voltan, Vikers, Voltan's probably give you the same price as last week. Vikers probably stay 4 or 5k until people get to Brelshaza, because Vikers is a kind of a hard carrier for the consumables you actually do need. Now next up, we're going to go straight hitting up the AH as well. We're going to go hit up the AH. So now they've added actually new honing materials and stuff like that as well. You know how they had only just all before, now they have all of this. So now it's a lot easier to go through. All of the tier 3 mats are now back to 1G as expected, because you get to a point where you go into Brelshaza gear and it's just basically worthless to upgrade these. Could be an idea to upgrade your old gear, before you Brelshaza it up. But I gotta say, if you try to do that, you have a 1% compared to a 5% upgrade for more times the mats and stuff like that. But I can understand if you're not going to Brelshaza it up, okay? Like, basically lurk it. Now you got the new stones here, Protection Obliteration. It's actually kind of interesting that the Obliteration Stone is not as super expensive compared to the Protection Stone, given the fact that, obviously weapons is probably most important to upgrade for a lot of people. Now, be aware at the same time, like, not many of them are for sale, so just be wary of that. So being like, a lot of people probably using them themselves to hone. So people may not know the price, they might be selling it too cheaply and stuff like that as well. Not to mention as well, the basic arrays are now 11G. That's pretty decent. Superior, I assume you need a lot more tier 3 mats to make, given the 17G. And I'm going to say probably is just a bit more. And overall, I'm going to say here, simple fusion materials probably going to fall behind because a lot of people will be demanding basic and superior at this point. Basic is kind of on the high end, as you can see here, at 11.7. So if you can make basics, do so. But I'm going to say at the moment, if you're trying to hone your gear up to get to Brelshaza, like 15, 20, 15, 30, you are most likely going to be making these anyway. Okay, so you're definitely not going to be making any basics. That's probably why basics have gone up in that sort of fashion. It's kind of interesting that these books are like that. This book is trading lower than that. So taking a look at the other stuff as well. Honor Leapstones go up to 48G. Greater London Leaps is at 87. You got the Solar Blessings and Solar Graces up here as well. And yeah, actually, and also you get a Marvelous Leapstones, which I believe is 5 Greater Leapstones at 175G. I'm actually a bit surprised about this at the same time, but at the same time, I'm going to say, like, I'm not terribly surprised given the fact that the same thing happened here with Honor Leapstones and Greater Honor Leapstones, where the Honor Leapstones were more expensive if you bought 5 of them than the Greater Honor Leapstone itself. Now, we are going to go to the pouches. You can see here the pouches. You can see Harmony, Honor, and then Life Shards being really, really expensive at the moment. I'm a bit surprised by... Solar Protections have gone down as well. I'm a bit surprised by all of this, okay? Like, especially, I'm going to say right now, the Honor Shards... No, the Life Shards, okay? The Life Shards are more expensive than the Honor Shards by 100, sorry, G. Because we talked about this. We talked about this previously, saying that, hey, we expect the Honor Shards to go up. I expected it to go up, but not to an extent where you don't do tier 2 maps. But I'm a bit surprised that the Honor Shard pouches are cheaper than the Life Shard pouches. Could it be that, people saved up previously so much that, could overtake it? Or there's also some stuff on the Mari store as well where people could have used real life money to purchase that and get a whole bunch of fields and all the Life Shard pouches, or just people saved up knowing that this patch was going to come in, basically, as well. Because previously, maybe people just sold the Honor Shard pouches because they didn't need it anymore. But since they needed it, it could be a different story. I'm not terribly too sure for you guys. Okay, I can't really answer you that sort of question. And it could be just a temporary event because there's a winter event in at the moment where everyone's getting enough Honor pouches to go through. We'll basically see later, if that's the case, because this is a really oddball one. Because Honor Life Shard pouches and Honor Shard pouches and Life Shard pouches were exactly the same, and now Life Shard pouches are ahead. Now also the new relic advanced vending of these, I expect these to be higher, given the fact it gives, I believe, as you can see here, it gives like 5% and 3%, which is significantly higher than a lot of areas. And you can see here, you can just basically just push through pretty easily as well. And yeah, that's it for honing at the moment. We're going to go to the Mari store, because I completely forgot to do the Mari store this time around. Usually do it after the bosses, but it goes to the Mari store. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You know how I said, hey, there's, new packs, but you can see here you can get 60 Honor Leapstones. I'm not sure if you can even check what you get in here. I think that's all of it. You can buy 5 of them. So imagine being a whale and getting at least 300 Honor Shard pouches by buying 10k Royal Crystals. It's absolute insanity. And like 10k Royal Crystals, just be real, like, is, well, 132 bucks, okay? Like probably the, I would probably call that a bargain, to be honest. You can also get these as well for a lot cheaper, Royal Crystals as well. But, and also not to mention you get 1,000 crystals, which can get you crystalline aura done as well. Now, we're going to check at the currency exchange. We also got to note here as well that they've actually changed a lot of these blue crystal prices. If you remember tier 1, tier 2 and stuff like that as well, where tier 1 and tier 2 were just as expensive, and it was just like, what's the point of buying tier 1 and tier 2 mats? They seem to have adjusted it so like the tier 1 and tier 2 price, also not to mention as well, all of these are in the market as well, so you should probably get buying as well. But you can see here, like with the tier 3 mats and the tier 1 mats, like they've made the tier 1 mats a lot cheaper and tier 2 mats a lot cheaper, and you get more compared to the tier 3 mats. You can see here the Honor Leapstones and the Greater Honor Leapstones as well. You can see here you get 30 for 45 compared to 100 tier 2 mats for, Finger. Now, we take a look at the currency exchange. I fully expect, yeah, I was going to say, I fully expect blue crystal prices to go up, given the fact that the given the fact a new tier comes out. It's above 3k again, but as suspected, it's a new tier comes out. Basically, the whales come in, buy all the gear, and then it's like a tide. It goes out, comes in, goes out, comes in, because demand just goes up and goes skyrocketing. And a lot of people just buy blue crystals in general to get their crystalline aura, to get the Fions, because new gear sets, and basically needed a bit of mats, and it just like goes on and on and on and on. So I wouldn't be too afraid of this one. I know it's above the 3k one. Like, I do get concerned when it's above 3k, but that's an okay 3k, okay? Now let's get back to the AH. Okay, we're going to go to consumables. I expect consumables to be up quite a bit, okay? Let's just be real. Like, consumables are going to be up quite a bit. We're going to go hit the potions first. And as you can see here, like, oh no, I've dropped back, jeez. I gotta say, like, I'm really surprised about this, but at the same time, just remember, like, it's only 16 of the cheapest, but it's been average at 41. You can see here in the last 5 days, probably the start of progression, you can see it's went up and just basically cruised back down as everyone puts their strongholds into it. And you can see a few Splendids at 109. I will say I'm really surprised about this, that it's actually pulled back. We're going to go into the grenades. And the grenades are going to say that stayed steady at 50g, basically well-worded dark grenades being the most useful ones. And also the Splendid ones probably being used by the higher pro guilds as well. And you see here, like, even the Splendid clay grenades getting a bit of use as well. But I think at this point, I think everyone's getting to that point with the grenades and stuff like that they can use all of them because everyone's got their rapport up to max. I know I don't, but I know, like, basically before I quit, which was like 3 to 4 months ago, that one person had all their rapports all done and dusted and max, so they never had to do rapports again. So I think a lot of people, like a lot of the casuals and stuff like that, are getting to that point as well. Next off, you get the bombs. Bombs are kind of the same price. Destruction bombs have gone up slightly. You can see here that the destruction bombs have probably gone up in the last few days. And you can see a lot of consumables have probably gone up in the last few days as well. Also, should probably highlight is any new thingos. So yeah, there is a new... Oh no, there's no new portals as of yet. And I think there's a new ghost ship as well. So just to make you aware of that as well, as you can see here. But yeah, no new rift. So rifts are pretty much the same. Okay, let's just put this back in its... well, not the case for now. So next up, we're going to go to engravings. I wonder if there's a new engraving system, like a relic engraving at this stage. That's my take on that one. Is there a new relic engraving? But I don't think there will be. But anyways, let's just check the greens. I gotta say the greens, as per usual, everyone knows it's generally just gonna be... Ooh, some combat ones being quite high. Necromancy, I gotta tell you right now, I still don't understand how this is 199G. But you can see a lot of the class ones is pretty expensive, 100G at the moment. I think it's going to be the case for greens and blues for a while, where like some of the upper end, like combat and other engravings are going to be quite expensive to buy. But you have to make a decent chunk of investment to purchase it up. However, basically with the epics are just a lot cheaper. Okay, like shouldn't expect like high costing class ones until you obviously get to Summoner, of course, or the new classes. I'm surprised that Machinist, like there's Machinist actually. Machinist is still expensive as well as Reaper. Then you get to the Legendaries, and the Legendaries, I'm going to say right now, are going to be stupidly expensive once we get to the upper end of it. But what's going to be stupidly expensive? Most likely the Summoners. This is probably temporarily, like if you think that gold books are still going to sell for 22k, it's going to be probably temporary. Given the fact that gold books have been going down due to the fact that it's untradeable upon purchase, it's very going to be unlikely that people are going to flip these books, okay? The only reason, or not unlikely, it's going to be impossible to flip these books. The only reason why summoners are super duper expensive is that, people might use their other art. Fuck, I forgot what it's called. The Isle just below Planuka, okay? I don't know what it's called at this stage, I completely forgot. And, they'll basically trade it in for these books and sell it for a higher price. Now, you can see here, KBW is getting a lot of love at the moment. KBW and Grudge has gone up a bit as well. And, oh, no, imagine being a bot. Imagine being a bot and selling it for 11G. That feels bad, man. You're like, hey, I got it. You sell it for 11G, and it's just, like, pain. Someone just got a bargain there as well. But KBW and Grudge selling quite well. As per usual, as I've always said, basically the class books are always going to be expensive. Oh no, someone's bot really broke down. Adrenaline for 4G, Cursed All for 4G. Jeez. Oh, dude. I like how EH is like 449G now, by the way. Oh man, I feel so bad. Also going to say heavy armor and a lot of the other, secondary books have gone down completely. Okay, like a lot of Berserker technique. Isn't that BIS for Berserker still? Supercharge at 720. Maybe they nerfed these abilities, but geez, like some of the really good traits are very cheap now. But I guess the BIS and the FOTM ones, the flavor of the month, are still super duper expensive. Now we got to go to our pets and skins, and let's see how the golds are going at the moment. Obviously, there's no legendary ones. Obviously, there's no normal ones. So you got to do overall rank. So let's go pets at the moment, because I know we're doing it out of order today. Okay, I usually do skins first, but pets, as you can see, I guess say pets have gone up slightly, and that's due to the Royal Crystal price going up as well. Okay, and a lot of people doing the Jameis and Lizette, probably getting 65k, 89k gold out of it as well. Um, you can tell that's gone up slightly, and that's mainly because of the gold market overall. Now you can see here with the spirit weapons and stuff like that as well. Oh, Gunslinger exclusive. Come on, bro. But you can see here, like, a lot of the skins have gone up slightly as well, especially the rarer skins. The rarer skins have gone up as well, I'm going to say. You can see here, basically, a lot of these skins probably about 49, 50k, and like I said, they've probably been about 30k before. Even the summer skins have gone up as well. You can see here, some of them are untradeable on purchase, some can be traded 1 or 2 times. You can tell the skin market gets flipped a bit as well, depending on the gold prices. And given the fact, I gotta say, a lot of people will probably be selling rather than buying at the moment until the Brelshaza has been out for quite a while.
Those hungry refugees won't attack us.
Now,
will they?
Last but not least, we're going to go into the gem market. And as I said before, guys, that maybe it's time to look in the relic gem market, because I think everyone at this stage will have legendary gems. So you can see 12k, 15k. They've gone down quite a bit. And generally with gems, they generally follow the trend of the gold prices. But the main reason why I say to not really look at it, I feel like people were trying to get into the relic gem market these days as well. And you can see there's only one relic gem on the AH for a Deadeye. And of course, I remember like the Deadeyes are not really a much played class. But you can see here, like, there's a lot of relic gems on the AH. I mean, look at that, 1 out of 18 pages on the AH. And I think the main thing you want to pay attention to is that gem market these days. And I think basically people are selling the higher ones, which are really good, by the way, like really good abilities, for like 940k and stuff like that. And I feel that's where it's gone. But if you want to just get a quick cheap level 7 gem or level 8 gem, you're better off actually probably buying it now and then building it up, I'm going to say. And then hopefully you get a good ability. If you don't, then, well, fuck, you just dumped a whole bunch of money for no reason. But I feel like people were getting a large amount of gold, and if Wales want to really come back in this game and get all these level 10 gems, they'll just be going for it this way. I'd say overall, like, I think people are going to be straight up probably buying level 10 gems to probably farm enough gold or farm enough gems to probably do so. You can either do it manually by doing constant boss rushes over and over again to get those high level gems, or you can just buy one. Like, that's the thing at the end of the day. You can probably put, level 7 or level 8, get the gold from that to buy level 10. It really doesn't fuss me a bit. Now, next up, we're going to go to the relics, the ability stones. I can say the ability stones, unless they've got an upgrade, realistically, I've got to say, like, it's probably going to be more of the same, whether you have the feelings to buy it. And I gotta say, if you've got 2 good secondaries, especially combat secondaries on it, you're probably in for a good time. Now, I gotta say, I see some for 8,000, any more, 9,000 as well. Some of them are a bit weird for the 9,000, like, max MP increase, like, no one's gonna pick up that. This one's probably deserves it, a lot of good combat traits. I guess max MP must be for another class, but probably Summoner, I guess. I'm not very too sure. But I don't really value it too much. Grudge and Hitmaster, the usuals are still up there as well for 9k. I feel like since the inflation's gone up, people can purchase more with it as well. And also, it's obvious as well that some people don't have their, obviously, 9-7 Elemental Stone, given the fact of like a 1 to 2% chance of happening. And there's also not a new rank of Stone yet as well. I actually should take a look at the new bracelet as well as we go into accessories. And the bracelet, if you guys do not know, it does have, like, a new bonus, as you guys can see here. Smite, it's an extra little bonus, extra expertise, extra vitality. I mean, the vitality ones can be super cheap. It really depends on, like, what secondary that you want. You can probably see here, like, some good secondaries is here, like, the bonuses can be granted and stuff like that. Probably a tier 2 bonus would be a bit helpful as well. You can see extra strength, extra spec. And I gotta say, overall, the bracelet gets more powerful as you unlock the, more of the abilities of it. Now, I gotta say, overall, like, an expertise one probably isn't the greatest, but I gotta say, like, if you're getting extra spec out of it as well, is probably the main thing they want to look at, and also getting, like, dexterity and spec, that's like extra DPS as well on the board. And like I say, this one's actually probably pretty good for a DPS spec, probably good, very good for Deadeye, basically as well. Like I would definitely pick that one up if I was Deadeye, like dexterity. Um, it's just actually really really good dexterity and spec because it's basically a big damage increase as well. Given that dex is a percentage damage increase and specializations just a crit damage increase and DPS increase as well. And you got a few encore effects as well. There could be, I guess, say right now with the bracelets as well, there could be extra abilities that are not discovered yet. So at the moment, this market has infancy where you're going to say like semi-decent pieces going up for very, very expensive prices. So you can see a crit specialization, big going up for quite high. And basically, you can see here as well, like basically, if you get best secondary stats, you can probably put it up for pretty high. And as I said, it's very in its infancy. So now we're going to go back to necklace prices and stuff like that as well. With necklace prices and stuff like that, generally if it just has good, generally if it has just good class mechanics, let's say for example, we're going to just put in well, if you're a summoner after all, it's probably very very cheap, probably very very expensive. I mean, overall you can see here probably the most expensive things at the moment will probably most likely be the bracelets or a high quality whaling, as you can see here. These are all bids, so we can just skip past here until we get to some buyouts. Probably be a long time actually till we can see some buyouts. Probably be like page 595, something like that. But overall, I'm gonna say I expect for the necks, rings, and stuff like that, earrings is probably still the best in slot. Secondary is still selling for quite a bit because this is more of a mature market now, given the fact that RNG has shined on a lot of people as well. And that's probably what it's going to be at the spec. Anyways, I probably won't look at it too much because we got bracelets up there as well. With bracelets, I don't think you can flip them too much anymore. So, given the fact that most of them are untradable on purchase, but either or, it's been doing pretty good. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Brelshaza release has had some expected increases in the blue crystal prices. Obviously, the bracelet market's a bit infinite at the moment. You could probably find some bargains, or you can probably find some things where it's just like, nuts, stay away from it. The things that I was really surprised at was the shards being so cheap, like honor shards being really cheap, and also that the tier 4 mats being pretty cheap as well. I expected those destruction stones to be at least 20G. Could it be just the start where everyone's going to get the little minor upgrades at start, and then the bigger upgrades take like more and more in the future? I'm not terribly too sure, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, I thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and like, comment, subscribe if you liked the video. See you guys later. Peace out. Bye.